Have you ever used a computer? Many of us use computers every day for work, for school, for fun. One of the most important people in the history of computers is Bill Gates. He is a famous American businessman, a software developer, a philanthropist. A philanthropist is a person who gives money and time to help make the world a better place. Bill Gates is known all over the world because he co-founded Microsoft, one of the biggest technology companies. His story is very interesting and can teach us a lot about following our dreams and working hard. Bill Gates' love for computers started when he was in middle school. His school, Lakeside Prep School, bought a teletype terminal that connected to a big computer. At that time in the late 1960s, computers were rare and not something people had in their homes. Bill and his friend Paul Allen became immediately captivated. This means they were very interested and couldn't think about anything else. They spent hours and hours in the computer room learning a programming language called BASIC. They wanted to understand everything about how these amazing machines worked. They even found ways to get extra computer time, sometimes staying up all night to practice coding. The story of Microsoft begins not with a company, but with a friendship. Bill Gates and Paul Allen met in school. They were both curious, loved solving puzzles, and quickly became best friends. They spent hours talking about computers, dreaming about the future, and sharing ideas. Bill and Paul were not like most students. While others played sports or watched TV, they spent their free time in the school computer room. At that time, computers were very big and rare. Most people had never even seen one. Bill and Paul loved to learn how computers worked. They taught themselves to write code, which is a special language that tells computers what to do. Sometimes they even skipped classes to spend more time programming. Even as teenagers, they were seasoned programmers, creating projects like a class scheduling system for their school. Their first big project was a program to help the school make class schedules. This was not easy, but they worked together and solved problems as a team. This teamwork would become very important later. This deep passion and experience meant they were perfectly positioned to recognize a unique opportunity when it appeared. In 1975, Bill and Paul read about a new computer called the Altair 8800. It was small enough to fit on a desk, and it was much cheaper than other computers. This was the beginning of the personal computer revolution. In 1975, they read an article about a new microcomputer called the Altair 8800. Bill and Paul saw a big opportunity. The Altair needed software to work. They decided to write a special program for it, using a language called BASIC. BASIC was easier to learn than other computer languages, so more people could use computers. They realized it was the start of the personal computer revolution they'd been dreaming about. But there was a big problem. Bill and Paul did not have an Altair computer to test their program. They had to imagine how it worked and write the code on a different computer. This was very risky, and they were not sure it would work. It needed software to run. Bill and Paul worked day and night for weeks. Sometimes they forgot to eat or sleep because they were so focused. They made mistakes, but they learned from each one and kept going. So they decided to create a version of the basic programming language for it. Finally, after many long nights, they finished the program. Paul Allen took a flight to Albuquerque, New Mexico, where the company that made the Altair was located. He was nervous because they had never tested the program on a real Altair before. The biggest challenge, they didn't actually have an Altair 8800. When Paul arrived, he loaded the program into the Altair. Everyone watched closely. Would it work? The room was silent as he pressed the keys. They had to write the software on one computer and pretend it was running on the Altair. Suddenly, the Altair lights blinked and the program worked perfectly. Bill and Paul were overjoyed. Their hard work had paid off. This was the beginning of Microsoft. It was an incredibly difficult and risky task, a true gamble. Bill and Paul started their company in a small office. They called it Microsoft, which means microcomputer software. At first it was just the two of them, but soon they hired more people who shared their dream. They worked relentlessly day and night for 8 weeks to write the code. Their first software was a big success. Other companies wanted to use it, and soon Microsoft became known for making good, reliable programs. Bill and Paul learned that teamwork, hard work, and believing in your ideas can help you achieve great things. When they finished, Paul Allen flew to Albuquerque, New Mexico to show the software. The story of Microsoft teaches us that big dreams can start in small places. With curiosity, courage, and a good friend, you can change the world. He had never tested the program on a real Altair before, so the stakes were immense. Miraculously, it worked perfectly the first time. After Microsoft made a deal with IBM, the company began to grow very quickly. They hired many new employees and opened offices in different cities. The workplace was full of energy and excitement, with people from many backgrounds working together. Bill Gates was a young leader, but he worked very hard. He often stayed late at the office, talking with his team and thinking about new ideas. He believed that computers could help everyone, not just big companies. At that time, most computers were difficult to use. People had to type long commands, and it was easy to make mistakes. Many people felt nervous about using computers. The real breakthrough came when Microsoft created Windows. Windows was a new kind of software that used pictures and icons. Instead of typing, people could use a mouse to click on things. This made computers much easier for everyone. The first version of Windows was released in 1985. It was not perfect, but it was a big step forward. Over the years, Microsoft improved Windows and added new features. In 1990, Windows 3.0 became very popular. It allowed people to open many programs at the same time and use colorful graphics. Suddenly, computers were not just for work, they were for fun, learning, and creativity. Windows 95 was a huge success. People waited in long lines to buy it. For the first time, millions of families around the world had a computer in their home. Windows made it possible for people to write letters, play games, draw pictures, and connect to the internet. It changed how people worked, learned, and communicated. Microsoft became a global company. Offices opened in many countries, and people from all over the world used Windows. The company hired talented people from many cultures and backgrounds. Some employees became famous for their work. For example, Melinda French Gates helped lead important projects. Many teams worked together to make Windows better every year. But success also brought challenges. Microsoft faced strong competition from other companies. Some people said Microsoft was too powerful. There were news stories and court cases about the company. Bill Gates had to answer many difficult questions. He learned that being a leader means making hard choices and listening to others. He tried to make Microsoft a better company. Even with these problems, Microsoft continued to grow. Windows became the most popular operating system in the world. It helped people in schools, offices, and homes everywhere. Today, billions of people use Windows and Microsoft products. The company continues to create new technology and support communities around the world. The story of Microsoft shows us that with hard work, teamwork, and new ideas, it is possible to change the world. Bill Gates and his team made computers a part of everyday life for everyone. Bill Gates is not only known for his work in technology, but also for his wise words that inspire people all over the world. He often shares quotes from his own experience. These quotes can help us learn, grow, and face challenges with confidence. One of his most famous quotes is, "It's fine to celebrate success, but it is more important to heed the lessons of failure." This means we should be happy when we do well, but we must also learn from our mistakes. For example, if you make a mistake while learning English, do not feel bad. Instead, think about what you can do better next time. Bill Gates also says, "Your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning." This means that when someone gives you advice or tells you what you did wrong, it is a chance to improve. In English class, if your teacher corrects you, it helps you get better. Another important quote from Bill Gates is, "Don't compare yourself with anyone in this world. If you do so, you are insulting yourself." This means you should focus on your own progress. Everyone learns at a different speed. If you keep practicing, you will improve. Bill Gates once said, "Patience is a key element of success." Learning something new like English takes time. If you are patient and keep trying, you will succeed. He also reminds us, we always overestimate the change that will occur in the next 2 years and underestimate the change that will occur in the next 10. This means real progress takes time. If you keep learning a little every day, you will be surprised at how much you can achieve in the future. Bill Gates believes that mistakes are not failures, but lessons. He says failure is a great teacher. When you make a mistake, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? This is how you grow stronger and smarter. Bill Gates also says, if you are born poor, it's not your mistake, but if you die poor, it's your mistake. This means we all have the power to change our lives by learning and working hard. No matter where you start, you can always improve. Bill Gates encourages us to keep learning. He says, I never took a day off in my 20s. Not one. This shows that hard work and dedication are important for success. If you keep practicing English every day, you will see results. Bill Gates's words remind us that learning is a journey. Everyone faces problems, but with patience, hard work, and a positive attitude, you can overcome anything. So the next time you feel discouraged, remember Bill Gates' advice, celebrate your successes, learn from your mistakes, and never stop trying. You have the power to reach your dreams. In the year 2000, while still leading Microsoft, Bill Gates made a big decision. He wanted to use his success to help people all over the world. Together with his then-wife, Melinda French Gates, he started the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. This foundation became one of the largest private charities in the world. The foundation's main goal is to make the world a better place for everyone, especially for people who are poor or sick. One of the biggest areas the foundation works in is global health. They help fight diseases like malaria, polio, and HIV/AIDS. The foundation pays for research to create new vaccines and medicines. It also helps deliver these life-saving treatments to people who need them most. For example, their work has helped almost end polio in the world. They also support programs to stop malaria and improve child health. Another important area is education. The foundation gives money to schools and teachers, helping children get a better education in many countries. They also work to reduce poverty. The foundation supports farmers with new tools and seeds so they can grow more food and earn more money. The foundation helps bring clean water and better toilets to villages and cities. This keeps people healthy and helps children go to school. Bill Gates left his daily work at Microsoft to focus on the foundation. He wanted to use his time, money, and ideas to solve big problems. The foundation faces many challenges. Some problems like ending poverty or stopping diseases are very difficult and take a long time to solve. But Bill and Melinda Gates believe that with teamwork, science, and hope, the world can get better. They work with many partners, including governments, scientists, and local communities. The foundation's vision is a world where every person has the chance to live a healthy and productive life. Their work brings hope to millions of people. Bill Gates shows us that success is not just about making money. It is also about helping others and making the world a better place for everyone. The story of Bill Gates is, above all, a story about the power of lifelong learning. Bill believes that learning never stops, no matter how old you are or how much you know. From his early days, Bill was a curious child. He loved to read all kinds of books, encyclopedias, science fiction, and even books about computers. He often spent hours in the library, exploring new ideas and asking questions. As he grew older, his love for learning only became stronger. Bill read every day, making reading a part of his daily routine. He believes that reading helps you see the world in new ways. Even today, Bill Gates reads about 50 books every year. He says that books are the best way to learn new things and to understand different people and cultures. Bill also loves to learn from other people. He listens to experts, watches educational videos, and attends talks and conferences. He is always looking for new ideas to solve problems. This passion for knowledge found a new focus when his school got a computer terminal. It was there he met his friend and future business partner, Paul Allen. Bill and Paul spent many hours in the computer lab, teaching themselves how to code. They were not afraid to make mistakes because every mistake was a chance to learn something new. Together, they were inseparable, spending countless hours in the school computer lab, teaching themselves how to code, driven by a deep sense of curiosity. Bill Gates believes that curiosity is the key to learning. He always asks questions like, how does this work? Or, why is this important? This curiosity helps him find creative solutions to problems. He didn't just want to use technology, he wanted to understand it completely from the inside out. Bill often says that learning is not just about getting good grades, it is about understanding the world and making it better. He uses what he learns to help solve real problems like fighting disease and improving education. This relentless desire to learn never stopped. Even after achieving unimaginable success, he famously takes think weeks. These are periods of total isolation, where he goes away by himself simply to read books and think deeply about the future of technology and global challenges. During these think weeks, Bill writes down his ideas and plans for the future. He believes that taking time to think and reflect is just as important as working hard. Bill Gates also uses technology to learn. He listens to podcasts, watches online courses, and reads articles on the internet. He encourages everyone to use technology as a tool for learning. For anyone learning English, this journey offers a very important lesson. If you want to learn English well, try to make learning a part of your daily life. Read a short story, listen to a podcast, or watch a video in English every day. Practice speaking with friends or online partners. Learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. It requires patience and consistency. You need to immerse yourself, read, listen, and practice regularly, making it a part of your daily life. Try keeping a notebook of new words and phrases. Write down what you learn and review it often. This will help you remember and use new vocabulary. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Every mistake is a step forward. Bill Gates says that mistakes are not failures, but lessons that help you grow. You will make mistakes, but the key is to see them not as failures, but as valuable learning opportunities. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Every new word you learn, every conversation you have is a victory. Be proud of your hard work. Every time you learn a new word, understand a tricky grammar rule, or have a successful conversation, you are taking a significant step forward on your journey to fluency. Remember, learning is a journey that lasts a lifetime. Like Bill Gates, stay curious, keep asking questions, and never stop learning. Your future is full of possibilities.